Religion and politics have often been hot-button issues, but it seems that we always could talk about them even though we differed. Today's world, however, is a lot different, and there seems to be something added to that conversation. Enmity, anger, hatred. What has happened to our ability to talk to each other about the important things in our lives? How can we talk to each other and maintain our core? How do we get along with our pastor with whom we don't agree? Our minister who is very different from us? How do we approach today's issues? Actually, rules are important, and make no bones about it. Driving the same way on the highway, obeying speed limits, doing the same things together helps life be more simple. And those rules are important. But basically, they're like training wheels. They help us live together. They help us get a balance. They help us go with each other. And as we grow up, and as we have noticed in our time, things have changed. It's not that speed limits have changed or that the highways have changed, but we have changed. And we're attempting to do things that we've never done before. We have very little time for rehearsal, and so lots of things that we're doing have to be made up on the spur. How do we do that? For Catholic Christians, the core of our belief is pro-life. We are very much dedicated to what nurtures and promotes life. And the behaviors that promote life are good. The behaviors that promote non-life or death are not so good. That's our core, life. And how do we maintain that? How do we talk to each other about being that good? I believe that the Mass is a paradigm. I'm not going to change the structure of the Mass, but it's a model of how we can live together, a model for our present and for our future. Let me explain. First of all, we gather the troops together, those who believe, those who don't believe, and we pray. We pray to, each one prays to his or her God. That is the beginning of a conversation. The second thing that we do is we tell the stories of our world, to tell the stories of our issues. Just as in the scriptures we read how our ancestors faced the issues of their day and how faith played a part in their lives, those scriptures are important to us. So today, our stories are important. And so we learn to talk to each other about the things that we're facing, those things that challenge us, those things that cause us to ask questions, those things that we're not really sure of where we're going. Those are the issues of today. And the last and most important part is the breaking of the bread. In Luke's gospel, the disciples said, "We knew him in the breaking of the bread." And so as we gather people today, we gather them maybe to start with prayer, and then to talk, and then to share a meal together. And that paradigm may help us, I believe will help us, face the issues of tomorrow. Learning how to pray together, even though we may have different versions of God. Learning how to talk together, even though we have different issues and different ways of saying them. But lastly and most important, breaking the bread. Sitting down at a meal every month with the same people gets us used to each other, gets us maybe to build a few bridges that weren't there before. And maybe it will not happen overnight, but after some time of doing this, going to that paradigm time after time, I believe is a bridge to the future. What do you think?